All right, so I'm learning something that's making me more money than I've ever made in my entire life right now, and I'm going to share it with you. It's GPT. People say AI, chat, how do you make money with that thing, right? It's amazing. First of all, if you're not on GPT, you should make a habit of at least 15 minutes a night, even before you go to bed, hop on GPT and interact with it and communicate with it and learn how it works. And I've heard profound people say this, so I took their advice and I started doing it. And little by little, as your brain starts to open up and ask questions and think differently, so this is what I'm doing. The quality of your success boils down to a lot of things. One specifically is the offers that you make or accept in the world of commerce and money. You could be a creator, you could love inspiring people, but the money comes down to what we call offers and transaction, commerce. And that comes from a very low level of little money to just subtle things and talking in a handshake, and the bigger money and the bigger money. I'm doing like 5-figure transactions, anywhere from. Anyways, I'm not doing multi-$100,000 transactions, okay? But I'm doing transactions in the 5 figures, if that makes sense. It's when you know how to negotiate and you know how to communicate at a very professional level and remove all emotion, unless it's a little bit of sprinkle positive emotion, like, hey, excited or ready to rock. But aside from that, too many emotions and too many stories don't make you money at the higher levels. It's all about delivering on promises and executing. So what ChatGPT does is if you're doing a deal or communicating back and forth through text message, but especially email, and at the higher levels, there's a lot of email back and forth, or before you're about to do a verbal communication on a phone or a Zoom call or a presentation, you can verbally vomit everything into ChatGPT and dump all of the contextual details of what's going on. And I've had the $200 a month. Right now I downgraded to the $20 a month. I might go back to $200 a month. We mess with all different types of AIs. I'm just giving you very limited information for this specific, what I'm talking about right now, this topic. But ChatGPT, depending on the prompt you give it, can turn you into the most professionally sounding person you ever thought you dream of becoming. The quality of your communication is the quality of your response. That means if you want to know how well you're communicating with people, judge by the quality of the response that you're getting from them based off your communication. So if you're getting a good response and you're getting deals and making money, you're doing something right. If people are not returning your call or they're avoiding you, it's not that you're doing anything wrong, but it might not be get in where you fit in. So basically ChatGPT is before I send an email, when I'm transacting deals and closing deals with customers, with clients, with brands, negotiating, anything, and I'll tell you the backstory of this. Why? Because you're going to want to listen to the next thing I'm going to say. I don't press that send button until I take everything that I wrote out organically from me, and I take it and I do a whole prompt to ChatGPT. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what I hope to expect. This is what I'm worried about. These are my fears, frustrations, whatever it is. You tell all the feelings to ChatGPT, and then you dump the facts in there, and you paste that email. Say, I want you to make me a proposal, an email, or whatever it is that I can send to this client, this brand, this company, whatever person I'm transacting with, especially if you're getting emotional. Go to ChatGPT first, and ChatGPT will filter out all that crap and give you a nice, and say, and I want you to write the exact email response. It will give you several options, but usually on the first try, a very well-written email response that addresses your concerns without being too emotional, and also The reason I keep bringing up the emotional thing for context is because if you grew up poor and now you're doing, $20, $30, $50,000 deals, you might get a little emotional when you were fighting to keep the rent and bills paid, had debt collectors calling you at one point in your life, and now you're trying to finally get ahead and you got 50 grand on the line and you don't want to mess it up, right? You're growing in your confidence. ChatGPT will create the perfect thing to say, and you're like, wow, that's the best way better than anything I could have ever said. But you have to make it look organic so it doesn't look like ChatGPT said it. And people are kind of getting aware to the point now. At the higher level, they're already aware, by the way. So if you're trying to hide the fact that you're using AI to help you rewrite I was going to tell you what I was going to tell you. I haven't forgotten. If you're trying to hide the fact, you're not going to hide it. You're not trying to hide anything. AI is now a collaborative tool that you're using to help you sound more eloquent and professional, but not overly to the point. If it's pumping out weird emojis and little stars and all this crap, you don't want none of that. You want it to look like you actually wrote it, almost to the point, and you're not lying about anything, but you want it to look almost like they'll be like, wow, this person's really got their act together, even if they did use AI to help them write it. I like that, right? And then when you send that, you send it with confidence and you're getting great responsive money. Okay, here's the thing I was going to say. I work with several different brands, all the way up to really high profile, big box brands that I dreamed of working with. I have people that I communicate with that I never would have had the opportunity at a previous point in my life. And it's a dream come true. Not that I put anybody above Jesus Christ. Nobody is above Jesus Christ. I don't know. I know why I said that because I don't want you should never put anybody on a pedestal, right? But my point is, this is the thing I was going to tell you. This is the breakthrough. I deal with these really professional people and they communicate. Their emails are so professional. I'm like, how are these people so smart? I just literally, I feel almost insecure that these people have their organizations. Do they all have like master's degrees in communication? Like, I'm a communicator. I'm a social media person. Communication is my whole thing and I ain't this good. And one day I actually started asking higher level questions and I asked somebody who was in a very high level at this big brand. I said, hey, real quick, before we jump off the phone, we were on a phone call doing a briefing. I asked them, I said, just an observation. Your communication is so organized. It's amazing. Like, it tells me everything I need to know. It's giving me bullet points. It's great, giving me to-dos. Like, how in the heck are you writing all this in a single email? And every single time your communication is just like, it's A++. And they said to me, they were like, oh, yeah, we basically type out, the person said, I basically type out exactly what I wanted to say, what I meant, and then I just run it through our AI thing on our whatever software they use, and then AI takes the context of what's going on and all the emails and rewrites it and makes it super organized with like deliverables and tasks and bullet points and reminders and objectives, and then that looks better than anything I could have written. So then that keeps our communication much more clean and precise and organized. And I was like, so this whole time, I don't think I said this, like you don't want to say, this whole time you've been using AI, like ChatGPT, and I've been sitting here insecure when this is a tool that I have access to. I was like, huh. So here's the next step. I started in the really, really important stuff, like, geez, I've got this many thousands of dollars on the line, and this is a thing I've always wanted, whatever, some deal. Let me just try this ChatGPT thing. And it wrote a really good email. I was like, get rid of the weird emojis and the asterisks and all the crap. Let's make it. And then I fixed it up a little bit. I was like, this is really good. Boom. And then when I sent it, it sent a new precedence level because I got such a good response from my email because ChatGPT helped me write it, that I was like, whoa, well, I can't just come in and write my chicken scratch now. I have to keep that precedence, I said, "Ooh, this is kind of good." ChatGPT is like almost becoming like a communication assistant who works on my behalf, unlimited, who's a freaking genius. Well, let me just filter all my communication with this client through ChatGPT because they already are used to me communicating at such a professional level. I don't want to just go and ruin it. It's like almost like in all integrity and transparency, this is where we're at. It's like this funny person said one time, it's like you got this punch bowl with this beautiful punch and there's a piece of fruit floating around. It's just like people like a party, and then someone just goes and there's just a big turd in the middle of the punch bowl. It's like a horrible thing to say, but that's like, I felt like if I were to now go, so I'm giving a very long version of this. I could have told you this in like 2 minutes, right? But I'm trying to give you context here. So then it little by little leveraged and got to the point where I'm like, I'm just using ChatGPT for about 80% of everything I'm communicating now because it's creating context and it's remembering the details that I'm missing and it's making my communication look very professional. And I'm like, I have somebody I know, for instance, who's a graphic designer who's creating some really good graphics for my podcast right now. And I wanted an adjustment to the font because they made a beautiful looking font, but it's not going to be readable on like YouTube thumbnails. And I respect this person so much that I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to come across as too harsh. I just want to be a cool cat. So I said, hey, chat, what is a way that I can ask them to give me a different font, but to do it in a nice professional way that explains the reason why. Not that I just don't like it because I don't like it, because they put a lot of time into thinking this up and they did a good job. But I want them to understand because I understand my audience is not going to want to click on something if they can't read the font really good, like to give them a reason. Create the email response now. And chat's like, and creates the perfect email response that didn't ruffle any feathers or hurt any feelings and was professional, eloquent, and I sent it. I was like, wow, this is the next level. So I'm on ChatGPT every day now, and I hear my friends that are entrepreneurs talking about it, and I have one friend who's got a multi-deca-million-dollar business, and he's like, bro, me and Chat are going to have a talk about this. I'm like, what? And so anything that's going on in his business at the different levels, dude's a freaking millionaire. ChatGPT is his consultant and is mine now too, because ChatGPT knows some stuff. Like I was worried about the fortune is in the follow-up in business. Somebody wasn't getting back to me and I've got a deal on the line and I've got skin in the game and I got money out already and I'm waiting for a response. And this is from a big brand right now. And it's like potentially going to be a phenomenal deal for me. I'm really excited, but they haven't gotten back to me and we're passing deadlines now. And I understand at the corporate level, things are, can move slower. There could be hiccups. We just got over the holidays, whatever. So waiting for projects and money and deal flow, sometimes it can be stressful. So I told ChatGPT everything I was feeling, and I wanted to reach out to them, very eloquently once and say, hey, just following up to see what's going on. I haven't heard back from you. But you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to wait. And so ChatGPT said, yes, you absolutely, since you're passing deadlines, it's the professional thing to do, and the responsible thing to do is to reach out, because it shows you proactively care. But here's what you don't want to do based off my message. No emotions. Don't talk about money. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do the big X's. And it was big X's over all the stuff that I was emotionally feeling. It was like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. I was like, oh, I'm glad I went to ChatGPT. Here's what you want to think about. This company's busy because they got these things going on. Oh, if you notice this is my friend's marketing company. I don't know what you're going to be looking at the shirt and be like, what kind of sweater is that? It's like a really professional marketing company. They gave me a hoodie. So, But they gave me all this context, ChatGPT did, of all the things that could be going on internally behind the scenes of this big brand that's holding up the reason why they're not getting back to me. And it all made perfect sense. Maybe someone's in and out of the office. Maybe someone's on vacation. Maybe something's going on, or maybe there was a holiday. Maybe like all these different things. And maybe you're waiting in a queue of other people. It's just these things happen at the corporate level. So you follow up. And so I got a professional email from ChatGPT. I sent it to this big box brand, just touching base to see what's going on. And they responded within about 5 hours. Hey, everything's great on our end. We're just waiting. Sorry it's taking a little bit longer than usual. We should know by early next week. And I got the email. I was like, oh, sweet. Now, that might not have made any sense to you, but if you are transacting deals, anyways. So here's what I'm learning. With these tools like ChatGPT, you can speed up your deal flow. You can move faster and get more irons in the fire and start dissolving the bottom as you expand the top. You can expand the top as you dissolve the bottom. All right, so if you're still here watching this video by chance, I've created an Instagram that goes more narrow on this. It's a brand new channel. It's called Contractor to Creator with Keith Kalfas, Contractor to Creator. And I'm going to be posting on it again tonight. And that's very specific. If you're a service business owner and you're looking to start teaching and creating online courses and writing books and getting brand deals and starting a podcast, and you want to move to that next level because you're not getting the fulfillment in your business, that's what that Instagram channel is about. And I'm also going to be starting a new YouTube channel and possibly dissolving this one. I've made a mistake on this YouTube channel when I started it. I didn't go narrow enough with my niching. So therefore, it doesn't get a lot of views at all because I got my SEO all wrong. I was trying to go way too wide, and that's a whole nother video and another story. So I might be I'm going to be starting a brand new YouTube channel about this type of topic again, but it's going to be very niche and very specific. So it'll probably be called Contractor to Creator. So look out for it. If you're watching this video, if you're seeing this, let me know who you are in the comments below. And yeah, thanks.